The Crusade Channel. Talk radio the way it should be. Broadcasting live from Madisonville, Louisiana, and streaming 24/7 at crusadechannel.com. During the 8 years of airing seasonal feast day-related sermons, the Crusade Channel has amassed an incredible library of Catholic sermons, and you can now stream them all at podcast.crusadechannel.com.
Silver and gold.
In these turbulent times, buying silver and gold is such a no-brainer that even snowmen know they should do it. Now, all precious metal dealers claim to be the best, but only one can claim they are endorsed by the KingDude, and that's Miles Franklin. My friend Andy Scheckman's a regular guest on my show and a regular genius when it comes to silver and gold, and I trust him with my silver and gold purchases, and so should you. So email Miles Franklin today for your exclusive Mike Church Show discount price list. info@milesfranklin.com. Hi folks, it's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Road to Independence, the movie. The Road to Independence tells the exciting story of the Founding Fathers' struggle to declare independence.
They shot first. The redcoats fired on us first. Help! Somebody! Get a doctor!
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and are packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Road to Independence on DVD and CD. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for Capuchin Holy Roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Cappuccino Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com. Hey Lee, you know, we've known each other for a bit now. I just wonder, what do you really love to do?
I love posting civilization-saving threads on X.com, but I get so tired of outrage porn scrolling my medulla has gone oblong blanca.
Well, I know just the thing. Pour an iced Capuchin Holy Roast coffee, put your earbuds in, and catch 2 hours of suspense. The greatest of all mystery, horror, and whodunit classic radio serials.
Perfect. While you were talking, I completely forgot who Jack Posobiec was.
Catch all 900-plus episodes of suspense every weekday from noon to 2 p.m. East on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on crusadechannel.com. Live talk and classic radio.
The way it should be.
Okay, please enter the 9-digit 2-step authorization code we just emailed you. Jeez. What do you mean, prove I'm human? Okay, that's a car. That's a car. That's a car. Those are not cars. Please try again. Oh my gosh. I'll show you. Try again, stupid piece of AI mother. Here, try this.
Jim, what are you doing? Good grief, man. This isn't Office Space the movie. What are you trying to do?
I just wanted to send the KingDude a donation through the stupid computer.
Like Trump, the KingDude makes everything better, including donating, which you can now do by mail.
Mail? They still have that?
Of course they do, and the KingDude's keeping the ponies running on time and in business. Just snail mail your donation to P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
Ha! And you can't. You're such a boomer. Me this time. And wait a minute. I know they're around here somewhere. There! Ha-ha!
Dude, those are airmail stamps from the movie Airplane. Surely you have...
Of course I do. And don't call me Shirley. The Crusade Radio Guild is a 501c3 nonprofit corporation, so your donations are tax deductible. Donate today, the Crusade Radio Guild, P.O. Box 400, Madisonville, Louisiana, 70447.
I need something to listen to challenge my faith and tickle my not-so-nice funny bone.
Well, you won't hear anything about Mondays coming or cheeseburgers in paradise, but you will hear the most brutally honest Catholic-inspired commentary on Parrot Talk. Weekdays.
Oh, this Boats, Beaches, Bars, and Ballads fan sees what you did there.
Weekdays at 2 Central on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on CrusadeChannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
Attention Coffee Police Academy students. We will now call the roll. CPA candidate Jones.
Present.
Joe Arabica Friday.
Present.
Tommy.
Oh, I'm here, sir. I just can't seem to keep my eyes open since I started drinking this Barrett Bargain Basement Stale Bean Water.
And just why are you violating CPA Coffee Code SPW1AM?
Well, that's easy. So I can save up money to get into the Coffee Cop Academy.
Son, breaking CPA rules so you can get into CPA is no way to become a coffee cop. Now, I am afraid we're going to have to...
Uh-oh. Sounds like Lou has found the academy, and he's on his second cup of Abbey Roast.
Well, what does he want?
He wants to know why the CPA didn't recognize his Rougarou noun.
Rougarou nouns, and I'm the one that rejected his application.
Will Lou the Rougarou have his revenge and grind the coffee cop into espresso? Stay tuned to this station for our next episode. And in the meantime, order Abbey Roast Coffee at shop.mikechurch.com.
Hey, it's Mike Church with another adventure in Stuff You Really Don't Need to Know. The difference between an antidote and an anecdote. One is a cure for something that's poisoned you, like a corona hoax vaccination, and the other is a short accounting of facts, something the aforementioned vaccine has almost none of. Here's another anecdote for you. The flag of the Sacred Heart of Jesus is also known as the Carillon de Sacré-Cœur, or the original flag of Quebec. And did you know that our Founders Trading Post is the exclusive maker and distributor of this one-of-a-kind, full-size, beautiful flag right here in America? Yep. Order a Sacred Heart flag right now and take $5 off and get a matching Sacred Heart flag bumper sticker for free. Don't cost nothing. Hurry, spring is coming and supplies are limited. To order, go to mikechurch.com/flag or call us 844-527-8723.
The Crusade Channel, your talk podcast and Fiorella File station.
Fiorella is the literary savage who skips sensitivity training. She is the librarian who reads and reviews books so you don't have to.
Hello and welcome to the Fiorella Files. On my show, I will be introducing you to books, classic and contemporary, that you must read, should enjoy reading, or should not touch with an 11-foot barge pole.
10 to 11 a.m. Central, every Monday on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on CrusadeChannel.com. Live talk and podcast radio.
The way it should be.
Hey, Mrs. McGillicuddy, don't be a satellite radio snob and pass by the Mike Church Show. Come on in and browse.
May I help you?
Oh, no thanks, sir. Just browsing.
How long do you intend to browse?
Well, that lady there. You didn't ask her how long she intends to browse. How come you're asking us how long we intend to browse?
You don't look like browsers.
Now that that's over,
How about a Fresca?
the Mike Church Show, entertaining browsers and fans since 1992 on the Veritas Radio Networks. Crusade.
And they're not just Democrats. They know the wheel has run off. This country doesn't work.
The Democrats, they took the House, they're in control, and I could die. Paydays creeping, the tax increasing in wintertime, and in July, they marry gays by the hour and lesbos by the minute. Took our wetlands and changed the speed limits. I'd like to call them something, but they charge me with crimes of hate. War is something for the strong. They fight a hurricane before the caliphate. There's only one Hillary, but I don't care.
Another vast right-wing conspiracy.
There's Democrats somewhere.
How about if we say that when the Democrats run America, every single day we're going to fight for universal health care. That's what we believe in.
This country doesn't work.
They say Bush lied and people died all afternoon and half the night. Impeachment hearings, Bush knows them. gonna start right here. If the phone's been lighting, you can tell him he can bomb away. War is something for the strong. They fight a hurricane before the caliphate. There's only one Howard Dean, but I don't care. There's Democrats somewhere.
We got the Civil Rights Act under Democrat. We got the Voting Rights Act under Democrat. We got the right to organize under Democrat.
This is serious as it gets.
They can commit war crimes, leak secrets to the Times, and raise your taxes up before 2.
We don't know nothing.
So we gotta stop this. I can't help but wonder, what would Ronald Reagan do?
Well, the Democrats are communists.
War is something for the strong. They'd fight a hurricane before the caliphate. There's only one Hillary, but I don't care.
Ladies and gentlemen, in for the Gipper, Mr. Jim Mosier.
War is something for the strong. They'd fight a hurricane before the caliphate. There's only one Hillary, but I don't care. Hell, I don't care. He don't care. There's Democrats somewhere.
Every day, Democrats talk about how badly things are going in Iraq. Is it?
Let's do it. You gotta beat the clock. You gotta beat the clock.
You can boogie, love disco, love the disco sound. Move up your body, spinning round and round. But don't forget, oh no. Don't forget, oh no. The stars are 45, keep on turning in your mind. But we can work it out. Remember, twist the shout. You still not tell me why, and no reply.
The Sultan of Sapientia. We could all use a little more wisdom these days. Mike Church here with you on a free phone Friday. Stars on 45.
Honey, honey, you are my candy girl, and you got me wanting you. Honey, sugar, sugar, you are my candy girl.
This portion of the program brought to you by the Founders Trading Post store. Shop.mikechurch.com. Your Lenten, your spice, your coffee and cigar HQ. Shop.mikechurch.com. Stop by and shop with us today. Folks, get great Lenten books ready to roll, including the great Lenten recipe picture book. It looks like one of those coffee table books that you put on the table, and people go like, ooh, that's nice. It's got a lot of great recipes in it, too, and there's other great Lenten fare, all at shop.mikechurch.com. We are going to order, since the inventory was actually moved. Thank you very much. Going to be restocking all the coffees, so shop for coffee, as it will be fresh and in any day now at shop.mikechurch.com. Don't forget the books and all the other great books, and there's a few handmade rosaries left there, shop.mikechurch.com, and the digital downloads, which are ample. Shop.mikechurch.com. Thank you very much in advance. Let's do some digital media files here. As we do in the second segment or the second hour of the program, we'll start at the top. Trump on Air Force One. I guess they were coming back from Davos. How do you get on the White House press team and not be told, dude, whatever you do, don't go in there. It's like they throw you in a den with a real African lion, king lion. And they go like, look, whatever you do, don't go in there and act like you're food. You can go in the lion's cage, just stand still like a tree. Don't breathe, don't do anything, and the lion will probably leave you alone. But they continue to send these little pixies in there that just ask the most stupid question. Maybe that's all they have left on the bench are stupid people. Did you lose your head? Oh, maybe it's Ice-Mageddon. Maybe Ice-Mageddon has begun taking the internet at.
What I'd like to see is that the money is paid not to the health insurance or not to the insurance companies, directly to the people into a healthcare account, savings account. And the people buy their own healthcare. Now, the Democrats don't like that because they're owned by the insurance companies. The Democrats are owned by the insurance companies. Obamacare, and I said this for a long time, Obamacare was set up by the insurance companies. They made a fortune. 1,000 points, they're going up 1,000, 1,250, 1,359%. That's all the money pouring in. I want the money to go directly to the people. Let the people buy their own health care. Now, their health care is going to be better, and they'll be paying less money. It's going to be amazing. But we have to get the Democrats to support it, most likely.
Good luck with that. Again, where's the filibuster? You don't have to get the Democrats to support it. You don't need a single one of these jacklegs. You have the votes. Got the votes in the House, got the votes in the Senate. All you're going to do is convince John Thune that he is just serving himself and his Republican majority up on a silver platter to schmuckle Schumer. Nuke the filibuster, because I guarantee you, should the unthinkable happen and the Democrats take the Senate back next November, they will nuke the filibuster. Day one, they will change the rule. And look, people have this thing that, it's such a big, drawn-out process. It's not such a big, drawn-out process. It's a simple rule. It's a rule that they added to a prior rule in 1922. All you need is a majority vote. Go in and say, we're changing whatever that rule number is, and we're removing voice or a recorded vote of 60 or more to end filibuster. It is simply a rule. It's not in the Constitution. There was no historical precedent for it prior to 1922. So that means you had 122 and you had 131 years where there was no filibuster. And the Republic got along, or what remained of the Republic, got along just fine without it. You don't need it. It's an anachronism. It's nothing more than an obfuscation tool now for limp-wristed weenie Republicans and for Democrats who actually are demons. So get rid of it. And they're running out of time. And the time to do this is now. So you just go like, okay, we're going to just go down the list and start checking things off. Same basically session here on Air Force One. What about the credit card rates? How are you going to do the credit card rates? Well, I explained to you yesterday that there was basically a union-wide agreement in place between all the states that interest rates were basically capped at 10%. Now, interestingly enough, you know what the one exception was? And how they got around it? Does anyone remember? The one exception was, and how they got around it, were mortgages. Remember during the Carter administration, 1976, 1980, or 77 to 1981, at one time, I don't have the exact number, but I'm sure Maggie can find it, but I want to say, at one time, there were mortgages, if you were buying one, that were being sold for like 11.5%, 12% mortgage rate interest. Can you imagine what that does to whatever note it is that you are planning on paying? If you think you have it bad today with 6 and 6.5%, I want to say it was at 12 and 12.5%. That was the one exception because we didn't agree. There was no agreement on mortgages. It was only on other interests. And actually, I called it the usury rule. And as I explained in a show earlier this week, that was nuked by the state of Delaware. Delaware went, yeah, screw you guys. We're we want credit card businesses to come to Delaware, so we're going to let them charge whatever the hell interest they want. Sooner or later than many of the other states, and then all the other states followed and went, okay, yeah, the criminals can come in. The usury sinning criminals can come in. And that's how you got all this stuff. This is not part of American history. Chase Manhattan charging 28% interest on a credit card debt is not part of American history. Citibank or Wells Fargo or Nations Bank or any other big banks charging double-digit over 25% interest rate is not part of American history or U.S. history. That simply is not true. And it wasn't part of history, and it didn't happen until very recently. So if there was an event that set it in motion, and if Congress had anything to do with it, it would seem to me, and you can have a similar event, and you can just nuke the previous event, and you can bring it to an end. Nobody's going to go broke, by the way, charging 10% double-digit interest rate. Number 2.
Credit card companies are getting 28% interest. So a guy goes out, they don't even know it. You know,
some of them 31.
Regular people, they don't know that they're paying 28%. And then it's a little bit overdue and they end up having to file for bankruptcy. I'm not going to let that happen. So it's a 1-year 10% cap on credit cards. We have to get that approved by Congress too. So, you know, that's not a no-brainer. Did you say that you should be a no-brainer?
It is a no-brainer. It ought to happen. There ought to be enough people out there that know what the word usury is and know what it means. If you get a big enough mob screaming it loud enough, look what the Democrats are able to do with a couple of ne'er-do-wells in Minneapolis. You don't think you can change mortgage or credit card interest rates? And then there's this other one. Why does he have a bruise on his hand? Because he's 79? Does your grandpa, who's 79, have any bruises on his hands? I'm like going, old people bruise. Hell, Maggie O'Connell bruises pretty easily. There are a lot of people that bruise. He's got a bruise on his hand. He's senile, not Biden. So you're senile if you got a bruise on your hand? So he's asked about it. Well, Mr. President, are you dying? Why? No, we're hoping that you're dying. What's with the bruise on the hand?
On your hand, are you okay?
Very good. I clipped it on the table. So I put a little, what do they call it, cream on it. But I clipped it. I would say take aspirin if you like your heart, but don't take aspirin if you don't want to have a little bruising. You know, if you take I take the big aspirin. And when you take the big aspirin, they tell you you're bruised. The doctor said, you don't have to take that, sir. You're very healthy. I said, I'm not taking any chances. So anyway, but that's one of the side effects of taking aspirin.
First it was take aspirin. Then they came out, I don't know if you remember this, guys, oh no, whatever you do, don't take aspirin. First they told men, 60-plus-year-old men like me, 2 St. Joseph children's aspirin per day. Then they came out and said, whatever you do, don't take the aspirin, it'll kill you. So wait a minute, I thought I was going to die if I didn't take the aspirin. Could you people please get this straight? Now, apparently, you're supposed to take the aspirin. So, take the aspirin. I want to. Which is the one where JD says? I guess it's 4, where he names Jacob Fry. So, for those of you that didn't see this, let me paint the picture because people like in pictures. Maggie, if you find a wide-angle view where Vance was in Minneapolis, you'll notice they set a stage up, and they had cars that were pointed like this, okay? My hands are the cars. They're ICE agent mobiles, completely decked out with all the regalia, the stickers on the doors, the siren lights. They're pointed out like this. The podium's in the middle. There's a flag on either side of the cars. Podium's in the middle of the presidential or vice presidential podium, and then they got curtains around it like that, and it's properly lit. So Vance walks out onto this stage, and then he is flanked on either side by a bunch of ice agents. One of them even kind of looked like Alejandro Mayorkas, but it wasn't. And so Vance comes out and drops the dime on the mayor of Minneapolis. Note that he doesn't name anyone else.
We have so many people here that we do not want to have here. I do not want so many ICE officers in Minneapolis right now. I mean, good Lord, it's really, really freaking cold outside. But they're here not even to enforce immigration laws, but to protect the people from the rioters. That's an absurd state of affairs, and we wouldn't need it if we had a little bit more cooperation from the Minneapolis Police Department. Again, the Minneapolis Police Department, my understanding is that the actual beat cops on the ground, they would love to help out, but they're being told by somebody, I don't know if it's Mayor Frey, they're being told by somebody not to cooperate at all. What kind of a person tells their local police don't protect somebody if they're being assaulted by a rioter? It's crazy, and it's got to stop.
So there you have it right there. That's not that's just not an accident. He didn't name anyone else. Well, I don't know who it is, Mayor Fry or something. Oh, of course it's Mayor Fry. We know that the Minneapolis chief of police is malleable and will do whatever Jacob Fry tells him to do. It kind of brings up another point. If you're an elected police chief, who do you answer to? Some people may be going, Miniature play. What do you mean? Who do you answer? Okay. Pretend for a moment that the police chief is not appointed. Well, so how does he become police chief? So pretend for a moment that the police chief is elected. Doesn't he answer to the people? Why would he then be taking orders that are being barked out by Mayor Jacob Fry? That, to me, doesn't make any sense. And I don't know. I haven't studied whether or not the police chief, well, maybe he's one that's appointed. Like in New Orleans, you don't run for police chief of the NOPD. You actually are appointed. And if it is Fry that's giving these orders, what kind of a... he is appointed. Okay, so then it makes sense. What kind of... I thought you were a humanitarian, bro. You keep running around accusing ICE agents and Trump and Vance and everyone else and all of us who voted for Trump as being some kind of anti-humanitarians. I thought humanitarians did not distinguish in between who they give care to. If you're an actual humanitarian, aren't you supposed to ignore things like race? Aren't you supposed to ignore things like nationality and ethnicity and what have you? Maybe you're even supposed to ignore things like, no, KingDude, don't do it. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Maybe you're supposed to ignore things like, I don't know, orders that tell you to not, provide first aid to a fellow officer. You know, you think about this and think about it out loud. Is there anyone in this party that is sane anymore? I'm going to spring it up one time more time here on the Mike Church Show because I brought it up so many times in the past. Why isn't there competition for good MAGA? It seemed to me that if you were really truly for and by other people and what have you here, and this is a democracy and we're here to serve the people, okay, well, fine, start serving them. Not the people that are in your nepotism circle or in your criminal racketeering and fraud circle. The actual people that supposedly live in the jurisdiction that you were elected to supposedly represent. Why don't you compete for Trump and say, so you want to lower health care costs like that? We'll go. Fine. Watch this. We're going to do this. Oh, so you want the credit cards to lower to 10%? Guess what? We're going to tell the credit cards when we're in power, 7.5%, bucko. You see where I'm going with this? Yes, but this would do. No, it wouldn't. Why isn't there a competition for, Ronald Reagan used to talk about it all the time, for good government. And as Reagan used to say, you don't like what it is, you vote with your feet. Of course, there are many people in Florida now saying, don't vote with your feet and come here. So, we're full. Yeah, we're good. We're fine. We're full. Yeah, don't come here. Don't want you here. Yeah, don't come here. We're good. Thank you. Don't come here. Do stay here. We'll be right back.
Off of me. You chipped my chip.
Boys, break it up. Jeez. Catch Crusade Channel News weekday mornings on the Crusade Channel. Live talk and podcast radio the way it should be.
No AI was harmed in the making of this radio content, but we hope to next time.
We all have our least favorite cliches, but for this Southern girl, it's beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What? That's like saying that chicken is as tasty grilled as it is Southern fried. Please. One of my favorite things to see beauty in are rosaries. I just love the combination of colors, material, or the simple beauty of the tri-bead. Well, for these Southern eyes, there is no finer maker of rosaries than the Little Bayou Rosary, started by my friend and yours, Maggie O'Connell. The rosary has a beautiful rosary handmade in Louisiana just for you, and each one is a unique, beautiful work of art. We have an almost unlimited variety of styles, color combos, and patron saint inspired rosaries. To order, go to mikechurch.com/rosary and view our current original designs. Available only in the Founders Trading Post at mikechurch.com/rosary or call us at 844-527-8723.
The Crusade Channel and the slaves of the Immaculate Heart of Mary's Sisters present the Saint of the Day.
Hello, Crusaders. This is Sister Maria Junipero with your saint of today. Today's feast is the solemn espousals of Our Lady and St. Joseph and St. Raymond of Pennafort. This marriage of Our Blessed Lady and her virginal spouse took place when he was 30 and she was 14 years old. Their first espousals, their engagement, took place on the previous September 8th, Our Lady's birthday. These espousals were arranged by the providence of God so that the virginal mother of the eternal God might have a virginal husband who would care for her and protect her divine child. St. Joseph died when he was 60 years old in the year 29 AD. Our Lady died when she was 72 years old in the year 58 AD. Both of them are now in soul and in body in heaven, along with Jesus, the third member of the Holy Family. St. Raymond of Pennafort was the third general of the Dominican order. He was also the co-founder with St. Peter Nolasco in 1218 of the Order of Mercedarians for the redemption of Catholic captives from the Mohammedans. St. Raymond of Pennafort was 100 years old when he died. Our Lady and St. Joseph, at their espousals, pray for us. St. Raymond of Pennafort, pray for us. Thank you for joining us for this brief summary of the lives of today's saints. Tomorrow's feast is the Feast of St. Timothy. To access all of our Saint of the Day recordings as podcasts, head to crusadechannel.com/saints. You can learn more about our sisters and contribute to the building of our convent by visiting stphilomenaconvent.org. I'm Sister Maria Junipera, and until next time, God bless and Mary keep you.
Hey, it's the King Dude for My Pillow. Mike Lindell sent me my first set of My Pillows 14 years ago. I loved them then, and I still love that same set of original My Pillows today. True story. Now, that's a testament to the craftsmanship and quality of the My Pillow. But don't take my word for it. Go try it for yourself. Use my unique code and get huge discounts and free shipping on all orders by going to mypillow.com/KingDude. That's mypillow.com/KingDude. Hi, folks, it's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Spirit of 76.
The Spirit of 76 details the true story of the writing and ratifying of the U.S. Constitution.
And here I would make this inquiry of those worthy characters who composed a part of the late Federal Convention. Sir, give me leave to demand, what right have they to say, we the people? Who authorized them?
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and is packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Spirit of 76 on a 2 DVD or 3 CD set. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723.
I do feel, Reg, that any anti-imperialist group
What's the difference between your average day late dollar short podcast and the Mike Church Show live? About the same as between the new Walker, Texas Homo and Walt Longmire.
I do feel, Reg, that any anti-imperialist group like ours must reflect such a divergence of interest within its power base.
Agreed. Francis? Yeah, I think Judith's point of view is very valid, Reg, provided the movement never forgets that it is the unalienable right of every man or woman to rid himself or herself. Agreed. Thank you, brother. Or sister. Where was I? I think you finished. Oh, right. Furthermore, it is the birthright of every man or woman. Why don't you shut up about women, Stan? You're putting us off.
Women have a perfect right to play a part in our movement, Reg.
Why are you always on about women, Stan?
I want to be one.
What?
I want to be a woman. From now on, I want you all to call me Loretta.
What?
It's my right as a man.
Well, why do you want to be Loretta, Stan?
I want to have babies.
You want to have babies?
It's every man's right to have babies if he wants them.
But you can't have babies.
Don't you oppress me.
I'm not oppressing you, Stan. You haven't got a womb. Where's the fetus going to gestate? You're going to keep it in a box?
Here, I've got an idea. Suppose you agree that he can't actually have babies, not having a womb, which is nobody's fault, not even the Romans, but that he can have the right to have babies.
Good idea, Judith. We shall fight the oppressors for your right to have babies, brother. Sister, sorry. What's the point? What? What's the point of fighting for his right to have babies when he can't have babies? It is symbolic of our struggle against oppression.
Symbolic of his struggle against reality.
Why you had to hide away for so long? Where did we go wrong? Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong?
How you doing? Welcome back, Mike Church Show here on a free phone Friday. This portion of the program brought to you by the Crusade Radio Guild. So, I saw the donation counter on the site, and it probably is not completely accurate because people donate to other campaigns that they had saved in their browsers. But we have 1 week to go. Today is the 23rd, so 1 week to go. What, Maggie? 1 week to go and 3/4 of the way to get there. So I guess I'm going to have to send an email out and beg and plead with our regular donors to try and hit the number for January. But if you're in the giving mood today, as you await ice and snow and sleet Mageddon to destroy much of the Deep South as it makes its way through. Now, when is it going to hit? It's tomorrow, or it's Sunday, or depends on whose forecast you get. It will get down on, so it's going to rain all day tomorrow. But the cold won't come through completely until Sunday night. Now, this would be terrible if you live in the Deep South. You don't want it to rain all day and then go to below freezing at night because everything's going to freeze. Any water that's on anything is going to freeze, including power lines. So if it's going to rain, what you would want is for it to rain all night while it's 20 some odd degrees. And then the next day, when it's supposed to get up to 40, some of it will melt. For it to stop when the temps are above freezing. I don't know how it's going to play out. We're going to be doing a lot of prep here today to get ready for it. So just know if you live, gosh, anywhere it seems. That giant pink blob of snow, basically, it's really dark crimson, where you're going to get the heaviest and then less crimson. And by the way, is that a subtle thing by Leftard media to imply that Snowmageddon, crushing snowfalls, are red in nature? And the lesser, more friendly, less dangerous snowfalls are blue? You notice that? Look at the weather. Look at the weather map, especially the ones from people like the Weather Channel and the big networks. All of the damage, all the calamity is in red or dark red. All of the not so calamitous is in blue or light blue. I just thought I'd pass it on. So in any event, the Crusade Radio Guild at crusadechannel.com/donate. I'll send an email out later today because on-air solicitations this month of January, I think I say this every January. Yep. This month of January is just, again, it's a trying month. I threaten every year I'm just going to take it off. I'm not going to deal with the stress. We just tell everyone they're laid off for 4 weeks, and we're just not going to do a program in all of January because it just doesn't matter. Now, we did one last year because last January did matter because everyone was all hyped up about Biden being kicked out and Trump coming in. So last January was actually really good, but the January before, kind of like this one. crusadechannel.com/donate. I want to, if you haven't heard, and I don't know why you would have, but if you haven't heard, let's do some of this Jack Smith hearing yesterday. I want to focus in on whether or not he actually had any authority to do what he was doing. And if he didn't, then wasn't he impersonating a federal officer at that point? Because the Democrats were saying, oh, no, he was sworn in. No, he wasn't. It's funny. Maggie asked me today when we got in, she goes, did we ever cover Jack Smith swearing in? And I said, no. I said, didn't we talk about this a couple of days ago, that he wasn't sworn in? There wasn't a formal hearing of any sort. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is not me saying this. Who was the judge in Florida who threw Trump's charges out? Remember her? What did she cite? She cited as primary evidence. I'm trying to remember her name now. She said, I'm throwing the charges out because the man that filed them as the prosecutor wasn't a special prosecutor. So he couldn't use the special counsel statute to investigate or to file charges. So he didn't have authority. So I'm throwing them all out. And she did. She dismissed them all. Here is Representative Lance Gooden, ex-ing Jack Smith. Sir, this is number 14. Can you tell us when you actually were confirmed? Are there any pictures? People lack pictures. Is there any evidence of this that you actually got confirmed by this body here?
I don't recall the specifics of it. I know I was sworn in. I don't recall the specifics of how that was done.
You don't remember who swore you in?
I don't.
Would you agree that taking the oath of office is a legal requirement for the job that you had?
I've taken oaths of office regularly. I haven't researched whether it's required or not, but I've done that, I think, in every government case.
It is required. Terms I heard earlier today were atypical, irregular, no proper procedure. Yet in your opening statement, you said that we followed Justice Department policies, and I would assume you meant the law as well. It strikes me as odd that you don't remember who swore you in, how you were sworn in. It's pretty significant. We all get sworn in here, and I remember every day. You don't remember who swore you in?
I don't remember the details of it as I sit here today.
But you did take the oath of office before you got rolling.
I think my recollection is it was when I was appointed.
It was when. It strikes me as odd that Attorney General Garland had you retake the oath of office on the 14th of September of the following year. Why did he make you do that?
As I sit here right now, I do not recall. I know that there is the oath of office that I signed. I believe it was on the 18th, the day that I was appointed. And I know the department had me do a second one. I don't know the particulars of why they asked me to do it again, but I know
you signed it on the 20th of November 22nd, November 2022, but there was no witness, which, I mean, you have to agree it's a little odd. If there's no witness saying that you took the oath of office, it would maybe make someone like me question whether or not you were legitimately doing the job until you finally took the oath of office. It sounds like the Attorney
judge
General
said he wasn't.
had the same question and thought, oh shit, we got to have him sign this on the 14th day of September of the following year. So why did you take the oath of office again on the 14th of September of the following year when you say you took the office in November of 2022? Why'd you need to do it twice?
My recollection is that I took the oath of office, as you said, it was the 18th or the 20th, and felt I was under the oath of office. I believe, if you have it in front of you, I think I signed an oath.
You signed it, but there was no witness. There was supposed to be either notarized or a witness, and apparently Attorney General Garland thought it was significant enough.
So, I don't need Jack Smith to tell me. I felt what you identified as being sworn in. This is a new one. Mr. Smith, do you identify as a law enforcement officer? I do. Do you, sir, do you identify as a special counsel? I do. You identify? Well, I mean, I felt like I was sworn in. A judge in Florida, as I said, didn't need any more convincing than he wasn't sworn in. And she said, you can't, she told Merrick Garland, you can't use your special counsel, Eileen Cannon, Judge Eileen Cannon, threw the charges out. Remember Trump, big post on True Social, exonerated. They told you we didn't do it. They told you they didn't have a case. Deranged Jack Smith made the whole thing up, and he never had authority. There was never any authority. There never was an authority here. But then again, if you think that you're going to have perpetual power because you figured out how to rig federal elections and you're never going to lose again, why do you need to go through the formality of confirming someone like Jack Smith? You see where I'm going with this? If you don't think you're ever going to lose power, and you think that this guy Trump guy is going to be buried underneath a jail in Leavenworth, Kansas, breaking rocks, you'll never lose Congress because mail-in voting will ruin all the other states. Hell, you'll never lose anything. Why would you care about things like technicalities, like confirming your special prosecutors? We think that these Democrats are smart people. I've been telling you for decades now. They're stupid. They're not smart. They're stupid. So, what the hell's going on here now? Maggie, play the play. Gee, well, there's so many you could play. Start with I guess it's number 7. Start with number 7.
Yes, sir, we did.
Yes, you did. And the subpoena covered the time period between November 2020 and January 2021. Is that right?
I'm sorry, sir. Could you say that again?
We're not going to delay like this. The subpoena covered the time period between November of 2020 and January 2021. How many days after Kevin McCarthy was sworn in as Speaker did you subpoena his records?
I don't recall, but those two things had nothing to do with one.
It was 16 days after becoming the highest-ranking Republican in the House of Representatives. You subpoenaed his toll records. Do you agree that that might reasonably be considered a violation of the speech or debate clause?
I do not, and I want to be clear that the toll records...
You were collecting months' worth of phone data on the Republican Speaker of the House, the leader of the opposition, right after he got sworn in as Speaker, all around the time of a major vote. That sounds like a flagrant violation of the speech or debate clause to me, and I think most people agree with me. And Speaker McCarthy had no recourse, did he? Because you issued a non-disclosure order ensuring that neither he nor any of the American people knew about these subpoenas. Is that right?
The toll record, the non-content toll record subpoenas, we did secure non-disclosure orders for those subpoenas.
You did, and let me ask you, Mr. Smith, at the time you secured those non-disclosure orders, was Speaker McCarthy a flight risk?
The non-disclosure order was based on concerns about...
Was Speaker McCarthy a flight risk?
He was not.
He was not. Then why did your non-disclosure order refer to him as a flight risk? It says right here, the court finds reasonable grounds to believe that such disclosure will result in flight from prosecution.
Sir,
he was a Republican, that's why.
Order, the risks don't have to be associated.
You think that the Speaker of the House is a flight risk?
The question?
No, this is not your time. This is my time. You think the Speaker of the House is a flight risk? You think he's going to hop on a plane and leave the country?
No, what I was trying to explain is with respect to a non-disclosure order, the risks aren't necessarily associated with the subscriber to the phone. They're the risks to the investigation.
I think that you were using, this was clearly in reference to Speaker McCarthy, and you were using clearly false information to secure a non-disclosure order to hide from Speaker McCarthy and from the American people the fact that you were spying on his toll records. But I've got more, so let's move on. In May of 2023, you also issued subpoenas for toll records of 9 U.S. senators and an additional representative. Is that right?
In May of 23, we did issue...
You did, and there were non-disclosure orders in conjunction with those subpoenas as well, right?
That's correct, consistent with department policy and the law.
So again, nobody would know what you were doing. The senators would, and the representatives would, and the American people wouldn't know what you were doing. Is that right?
Well, he's not going
to
tell you
that. The toll records that we secured and the non-disclosure orders were consistent with policy and consistent...
And you knew whenever you were doing that there was a risk you were violating the speech or debate clause. Is that right?
The toll record subpoenas that we secured were with the concurrence of the public integrity.
Your own analysis says that you knew there was a risk you were violating the speech or debate clause.
All right, stop the tape. Folks, we remember all this. Everyone, I do remember covering this. Remember, it was leaked out, or somebody got a hold of it, that remember, it was your boy, 93-year-old Charles Grant, it was Chuck Grassley, that got the memo that said, wait a minute, what is this here? Why was my office bugged? Remember, he wiretapped. He got a judge to sign off, or somebody signed off on wiretapping 8 Republican senators, including Grassley, including Josh Hawley. I forget who the other ones were, and they were spying on him. And, of course, Biden comes out, chewing their day, stopping the pressure. There's nothing to see here. We weren't spying. This is just routine. Routine? Then, of course, the FBI director was asked, did you actually carry out these warrants? And did you actually, because they couldn't do it. Smith couldn't, set the tap up and what have you. The FBI had to do it. Kevin McCarthy's a lot of things, but a flight risk he is not. Why? You think about this. And again, this is 2026. You know, throw the darts. I'm aiming for a triple 20. A triple 20. Got him. Take that, orange man. Good. It's very easy to dismiss all the alleged failings and fumbles and screw-ups and promises not kept and this and that and the other of Trump 2.0 and forget, listen to this Jack Smith hearing, what was going on 3 years ago. It's 2026, so 2023. It began in 2022. What was going on 4 years ago and 3 years ago and then 2 years ago before Pelosi lost the House and the exorcism. I'm not the only one that remembers the FBI, and by the way, we have no assurance that they're still not doing this. The FBI investigating those trad Catholics in Virginia and all of the other spyfare that was going on. You know, the people in the Biden White House, Biden wasn't there. They were auto-penning stuff. They were auto-penning documents every single day and were carrying out orders. You know, somebody said this yesterday. Who was it that we were listening to, Mag? I don't think we played the soundbite. Guy was going, it was an analyst. What was his name? I'm trying to remember what was the dude's name. He was saying that, you know, one of the things that, because he asked Scott Bessent something, and Bessent goes, you all seem to have forgotten, we had to undo 4 years worth of single, angry, ugly cat ladies who never ran a nail salon trying to run the great engine that is American economy so that DEI people were taken care of and everyone else got screwed. Play Jim Jordan. This is the good one. Number 9. Did you pay somebody like 20 grand to like be a confidential informant? I mean, what is this, an episode of Beretta? You have Huggy or Starsky and Hutch, you got Starsky and Hutch, you got Huggy Bear hanging out in the alley, Jack?
We've gathered at $35 million. And what I want to know is how much of that $35 million of taxpayer money did you give to confidential human sources? We know you gave $20,000 to someone. It just got reported last week. How much more money did you pay confidential people we don't know about, with American tax money going after the guy we elected president?
My recollection regards the $20,000, which was not a payment from me. It was me approving a payment by the FBI to a confidential human source who was reviewing video and photographic.
Who's the source?
I do not know the identity of the source.
How many other payments went to this source or other sources?
Yeah, who's the source? No, deep throat.
As I sit here, I do not know the answer to that question. My role as special counsel...
$35 million, and you're giving money to people the country doesn't know who they are, and you're giving their hard-earned money to these folks? The main question I have, too, with this is, why'd you have to do it?
All right, folks, we'll be back.
Subpoenaed.
It's not tape or a Post-it or a candy bar, but this new 3M
is the freshest spin on true crime shows since dinosaurs were solving cold cases with fossil evidence. Yeah, it's that original, folks.
Mom's Murders and Mysteries. New episodes debut every Tuesday night, 6:30 East, 4 West, exclusively on the Crusade channel. Live talk podcast radio, the way it should be.
Hi, folks, it's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Road to Independence, the movie. The Road to Independence tells the exciting story of the Founding Fathers' struggle to declare independence.
Notice the reference Jefferson makes here to our federal connection, which in this instance is viewed by the sage of Monticello as an impediment to true independence. This supports Jefferson and later Madison's view that the federal system created by the Constitution contain the elements needed to endanger the hard.
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and are packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Road to Independence on DVD and CD. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723.
You're listening to the Crusade Channel, a Black Hat Studios media property, broadcasting live 24/7 from Madisonville, Louisiana, and to the world via CrusadeChannel.com. Crusade Channel News. News you can trust.
Because let's face it, the truth just sounds different, like a symphony of facts.
And now, from the Crusade Channel News Desk, here's Janet Huxley.
Hello, Crusaders. Welcome to Friday, January 23rd, 2026. I'm Janet Huxley, reporting for the Crusade Channel News Desk, live from the Dothan Farm and Ranch, south of Kansas City, Missouri. This report is brought to you by the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app, the best way to listen to the KingDude ever, and installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app, tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. And here's what to listen for this hour. 7 House Democrats break with Jeffries to pass DHS funding despite ICE backlash. Judge rejects Trump DOJ bid to charge Don Lemon over Minnesota church storming. Just how sick was the FBI before cash? Ex-NFL player found stabbed to death, and White House explains bruise on Trump's hand. 7 Democrats voted with Republicans on Thursday to pass a Department of Homeland Security spending bill, despite opposition from their own leadership over unmet demands for additional guardrails on ICE operations. The DHS bill will be bundled alongside 3 other spending bills, totaling a combined $1.2 trillion in federal spending. A federal magistrate judge in Minnesota rejected an attempt by the Justice Department to charge disgraced former CNN host Don Lemon over his participation in Sunday's invasion of a St. Paul church service by anti-ICE agitators. The 59-year-old Lemon was part of a group of dozens of demonstrators who disrupted and tormented Sunday worship at City's church. A source familiar with the matter told the New York Post Attorney General Pam Bondi was enraged by the judge's decision not to sign off on the charge against Lemon, saying she was heading to Minnesota herself. She had announced 2 other prominent local activists had been arrested over the disturbance, and one was a member of the St. Paul Public Schools Board of Education, the other a Black Lives Matter leader. Just how sick was the FBI? FBI Director Kash Patel shared a picture of what he said was a self-awarded trophy made by former FBI officials to celebrate Operation Arctic Frost, an investigation launched after the 2020 election targeting our president and his allies. The bizarre metallic covered 3D printed award featured all kinds of things, an AF with a lightning bolt and a $sign printed along its body, a raised map of the U.S., and also miniature buildings, and CR-15 was printed along the base. CR-15 is a now disbanded FBI unit that served as a public corruption squad. People ask why I said the old FBI was a diseased temple, Patel wrote on X. This is what corruption looks like when it thinks no one is watching. Our quote of the day. He who trusts in himself is lost. He who trusts in God can do all things. St. Alphonsus Liguori. More of today's headlines coming up. You're listening to Crusade Channel News.
When most people hear the word coffee, they conjure up visions of a ceramic mug in the palm of both hands and a woman slowly sipping. This isn't a Folgers commercial. It's for Capuchin Holy Roast, and here's how I take mine. With a dash of vanilla, a pinch of cinnamon, a spoonful of honey, and lots of heavy cream. Add some ice, shake, and then enjoy, while knowing that's $6 the libs at Starbucks can't spend to ruin my life and yours.
Cappuccino Holy Roast in whole bean or grind is available at shop.mychurch.com.
You can learn all about today's Saint of the Day in the Saint of the Day podcast at crusadechannel.com. Now more of today's headlines. Kevin Johnson, a former NFL defensive lineman who played for the Philadelphia Eagles and Oakland Raiders in the 1990s, was stabbed to death in Los Angeles. He was 55. Johnson's body was discovered at a homeless encampment Wednesday, according to the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office. The cause of death was listed as blunt head trauma and stab wounds. Unfortunately, it appears he was homeless. L.A. County Sheriff's Lieutenant Steve DeJong told Newsweek it looks like he was probably living there. The White House on Thursday explained a visible bruise on President Donald Trump's left hand because it drew attention during a Board of Peace signing ceremony in Davos, Switzerland. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told Fox News that Trump had bruised his hand after hitting it on the corner of the signing table during the event. A White House official added the president is more prone to bruising because he takes a daily aspirin, a regimen previously disclosed by his physicians. The White House also noted to Fox News that photos taken Wednesday showed no bruising. And finally, a persistent low-frequency hum has invaded the city of West Haven, Connecticut, according to many residents, and they're shaken by an occurrence they're calling everything from mysterious to excruciating. For some time, residents of the city on the coast of Long Island South have believed the source of the hum to be a local industry, and they're demanding a resolution. After circulating a petition and obtaining over 140 signatures, a group convinced the city council to spend $16,000 to hire a third-party acoustic firm. I'm Janet Huxley for the Crusade Channel, seeking news and finding truth.
This is a pixel. I'm Groot. If you put a couple of million of these guys together, you can make a sentence on an LED screen. Put a couple of billion of them together, and you can make a whole page. Put 360 billion, and you've got Joseph Pierce's A History of True England. But it doesn't smell like a history of true England, and it burns teeny little holes in your cornea. So, is the pixel really your friend? I'm Groot. No Groot, but the Founders Trading Post is your friend. And we have actual books with actual smelly pages. Plus, our little bookstore has everything you'd expect. I'm Groot. Yep, we got Sacred Heart flags, Groot, but no to the One Tree Hill sappy guitar music.
Pick up a copy of Joseph Pierce's True History of England, plus a dozen other Joseph Pierce titles at shop.mychurch.com.
Hi, folks, it's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Road to Independence, the movie. The Road to Independence tells the exciting story of the Founding Fathers' struggle to declare independence.
They shot first. The Redcoats fired on us first. Help! Somebody! Get a doctor!
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and are packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Road to Independence on DVD and CD. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723.
For the last time, I'm pretty sure what's killing the crops is this Brondo stuff.
The Brondo's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes.
So wait a minute. What you're saying is that you want us to put water on the crops?
Yes.
Water? Like out the toilet?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be out of the toilet, but yeah, that's the idea.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
Okay, look, the plants aren't growing, so I'm pretty sure that the Brondo's not working. Now, I'm no botanist, but I do know that if you put water on plants, they grow.
Oh, well, I've never seen no plants grow out of no toilet.
Hey, that's good. You sure you ain't the smartest guy in the world?
Yeah.
Okay, look, you want to solve this problem, I want to get my pardon, so why don't we just try it, okay? And not worry about what plants crave.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Do you even know?
It's what they use to make Brondo.
Yeah, but why did they use them to make Brondo?
Because Brondo's got electrolytes.
And it is the Free Phone Friday, folks. Welcome back. Mike Church Show here. You know what that means.
Oh, and remember, Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. So, you know, if you want to, go ahead and wear a Hawaiian shirt and jeans.
Do it, I'm here.
It's Free Phone. It's Free Phone.
Yes, it is a free phone Friday. They are charged with the task of telling us what it is we shall talk about here on the program. It's a telephone number to take me up on this kind, benevolent, beneficent offer. Use of these radio airwaves. Give us a call sometime when you have no class. 844-527-8723. 844-5-Crusade. Email address same as it ever hath been. I am KingDude at protonmail.com. I am KingDude at protonmail.com. Crusader Stadium chat room open at crusadechannel.com/chat. Here on a free phone Friday as we all prepare or get ready for, or however you wish to say it, ice, sleet, snow, cold, Mageddon. In all of its various forms and however it is that shall come to us. It is it's going to get really cold. And if you are, if you're not in the deep south, like we're monitoring here because in Madisonville, Louisiana, we're just 10 miles south of the icy sleet, icy rain band. Now, if that doesn't change, then we should be fine. So we're keeping an eye on all that, as I'm sure many people are. I mean, you look all across all the lower states, there is just a blanket of ice, a blanket of pink, if you will, and then freezing cold temperatures. Who said it was like minus 12 today?
Oh, some people in Michigan. I think it was.
Well, daughter number. Okay, so today is the girl's birthday.
Michigan is -2, feels like -21.
And so she's supposed to do. She does a annual for her birthday. She does a pub crawl, and so one of her friends, because she was here, asked her, called her on Monday when she was here, and goes, or Tuesday when she was here. Are you still doing your pub crawl? And she goes, yeah, why not? And he goes, well, on Saturday, the high is going to be 13. Feels like -15. She goes, and? So apparently not everyone is Maggie O'Connell, averse to the freezing cold. Feds in use of tax dollars for experiments on aborted babies. There's a headline at the Federalist. The NIH's decision is a payoff on their decades-long lobbying effort to end taxpayer-funded abortions or experiment involving aborted babies. American taxpayers will no longer fund research that uses aborted baby body parts. I have a question. Why were they ever? You know, we covered this story back during the Corona doom. And then remember all the leftards were maybe like, nanny, boo, but what are you going to do about it? Remember the story coming out of the University of Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh? Remember, it wasn't David DeLeiden. It wasn't Project Veritas either. Maybe it was. Somebody went undercover and went to Pitt and posed. It was a she. With another she or a dude or whatever, and posed as, or maybe they were actually 8-9 months pregnant or something to that effect, and then started asking questions like, well, is there anything I could do? I really don't want the baby, but I don't want, I just don't want to, I don't just want to kill it. Is there, is there some other way? Can my baby be, used in a science manner or whatever? And then remember, the monsters at Pitt told the women, yeah, report to this place, such and such a date, and we'll take care of it. So I come to find out what they were planning to do and what they had been doing on people that weren't informants or on women that weren't informants is they were scheduling these basically day of birth abortions. And they were murdering the babies as they were born, and then they were harvesting the body parts. Remember the experiments that they were using with the stem cells? That they were taking dogs, remember that? They were taking dogs and cats and rats and others, and they were like breaking their backs, breaking their spines, and they were taking stem cells from babies, and they were doing all manner of Frankensteinian, mad scientist experiments. We're working on these miracle cures. And people that were, now this supposedly was unbeknownst to the people that were running Pitt. They said they knew nothing about it. But we would later find out, Maggie, do you remember? Who did know about it? I heard a gremlin in the other room.
I'm telling you, something's wrong with this place.
Yeah, something. Do you remember who did know? Who signed off on the grant? Fauci. Do you remember this? This was Fauci's doing. And then he would say, well, Senator, obviously, because Rand Paul brought it up in a hearing. Senator, you obviously don't know what the hell you're talking about. And even after wearing 4 masks. I never actually, that's not my signature. That's a signature of someone that's an auto pen of some sort. I never actually signed off on any of these, what you call these grants. And besides, these were approved by the NHS Board of Sciences, okay? So you don't know what the hell you're talking about. This was done in the name of preserving the American people and good medical research. Remember Fauci lying? And saying that, well, I didn't know about it. Yeah, you did, dude. You signed the freaking grant. You signed it. And then he denied why it wasn't. He basically said it was an auto pen. American taxpayers will no longer fund research that uses aborted baby body parts after the National Institutes of Health announced on Thursday that it will cut financial ties with any programs experimenting with human fetal tissue obtained from elective abortions. You know, ladies and gentlemen, they have been lying about this crap for 40-some-odd years. This is supposedly the God cell that if they can just murder enough babies and abort them at the right part of gestation and then suck them out of their mother's wombs while they're still warm and the organs haven't had a chance to shut down, then they can get to the ghastly business of cutting their spines open, sucking out the stem cells, and we're going to get to the right stem cells sooner or later. And when we do, we're going to cure. They're going to cure paralysis. They're going to cure this. They're going to cure that. This is 40-some-odd years now. They have promulgated this miracle cure, as they call it, of stem cell research. Now, look, I'm not a pathologist. I am not an epidemiologist. I don't study this stuff. I'm not a doctor. I only play somewhat of one on radio shows. And I don't know an awful lot about the details of this, but I do know that the only way to get the kind of stem cells that they're trying to get, well, you actually can get them similar cells, but they're not the same. You can get similar cells. How many of you are familiar with some of the advanced ways they treat leukemia these days? So one of the advanced ways, and again, I'm not a doctor, I only play one on radio, so I'm only going to talk very, very broadly and obliquely here. It has something to do with a matching donor's bone marrow, which is some sort of maybe it's not a stem cell or whatever the hell you doctor guys call it. It's some sort of a cell that you can get from someone that's a matching donor, right? And you extract, and it's very painful to get it out. You can get it, though. You get some of their bone marrow, and then there is a process by which you can use that to then inject either into the person that's suffering the leukemia or into their bone or whatever, to reverse the bone cancer or the blood cancer process. And again, I don't know enough about it to even talk about it. I just know that it exists. As a matter of fact, I know someone had it done. I know 2 people that have had it done. So I don't know how they do it exactly, but I do know that they do it. But you can't use that kind of cell to repair a spine. Supposedly, repair a spine. These sick, twisted monsters, these descendants of Alfred Kinsey, have been pushing and promoting this junk science for decades. That if they just kill enough babies and harvest enough stem cells, they're finally going to get there.
Stem cells are in the umbilical cord and the placenta. They don't tell you that, though.
Yeah, but what they don't tell you is, as Maggie is pointing out, what is that? Why don't you tell everyone, because you know more about it than I do, obviously.
I don't know much more. I'm just saying that I know that stem cells are also found in the umbilical cord
Yes,
and the placenta
and the
after
placenta.
a live birth. So
why do they got to suck them out?
Why do you have to kill them?
Why do you got to kill the baby to get it? You don't. So this has been a fraud and a scam, and evil people have been perpetrating this for years. They knew that some of it was so bad that they moved it offshore to China. Why do you think we have a lab in Wuhan? We have a lab in Wuhan because we don't want any Rand Paul snooping around the University of Pittsburgh. That's why. You don't want any Rand Pauls or people like me or Project Veritas snooping around the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Or is it NC State where they were doing it as well, another university. We don't want any oversight of this. And of course, in the NHS says NHS is pushing American biomedical science into the 21st century. This decision is about advancing science by investing in breakthrough technologies more capable of modeling human health and disease. Under President Trump's leadership, taxpayer-funded research must reflect the best science of today and the values of the American church. And of course, today, they made this announcement on the eve of the pro-life march. Today's the pro-life march. Not a coincidence that it happens on daughter number 1 and daughter number 2's birthday every year. All right, let's go to the television. There's much more on this. Roger has a piece out today. What did he call it, Maggie? Les divorce. America leaves Europe to its fate. Europe did this to themselves, not America. Europe did this. And because of the position that Europe is in, I put a video out about this. I expected it to be banned everywhere. Yesterday, when I asked the question, I'm like, is the EU really going to ask European nations to actually save themselves? Stop immigrating people that aren't of your former culture, because it's not your culture anymore. You killed it. That aren't of your former culture and don't look like your ancestors. Stop importing them today. Cut them off. You have to stop now. Full stop. And then, do the people of Germany, for example, or Italy, or whoever, or Spain, or France, or England, or wherever, do they have the stones to repel what has already happened? In other words, are they going to try and preserve the people and their culture? And you have to say this, and their skin color, and the inheritance and their hereditary inheritance, to preserve those cultures, those ways of life, those traditions that made those countries marks on a map. Germany is a mark on a map because of what people did in Germany, Germans. Italy is a mark on a map. Well, Italy you can't really say because it was the Papal States at one time. But the people of the Papal States did, and Catholics did. Spain, ditto, same thing. France, why is France a big mark on the map? Because what French Catholics did once upon a time. England, why is England a big deal? Because what English Catholics did all the way up to Henry VIII. It hasn't advanced at all. Certainly morally, it's devolved. Are you willing to go back to, or go to coin a phrase from Led Zeppelin to go into the outdoor and to go back from whence you've come? Well, Dreher's asking this question. He's like, then I asked a friend of mine, and I'm going to talk about this next segment. Then I asked a friend of mine why he won't watch the show Publius. He said, because there's a lesbian in it. It's just one little harmless, incidental lesbo. Well, first of all, it's not a harmless, incidental lesbo. She is the subject and the character, and she's always a lesbian, and they have flashbacks to when she was a lesbian. But I think it's even deeper than that, and I'll explain next segment. Let's go to the telephones on a Free Phone Friday at 844-527-8723. Jeff Johnson is first up here, as I guess you always are here in the 8 a.m. Central Time segment here on the Mike Church Show and on a Free Phone Friday. Hey, buddy, long time no talk. I mean, it's been almost, 12 hours now?
Yeah. I mean, it's every Friday anymore because no one else will call. You know, I just have to make sure your phone lines are still working. And yes, last night was probably one of my favorite that we've done because it included a lot of drinking of bourbon. So last night was so much fun. I hope everyone goes and listens to it.
The most fun part, though, to me, I mean, the whole thing was fun. It was a great show. And we really are coming together as a nice little broadcast team, I must say. Everybody, Steve Smart shows up, Jeff Johnson shows up, Joe Beeman shows up, Scott Resnick shows up every once in a while. Kaiser will grace us with his presence if he isn't too busy doing something at Texas A&M and losing national championships. Oh! The challenge flag! Oh! I thought, though, that when Jackie suggested, why don't you do Star Trek as one? And then somebody said, well, where do you cut off the seasons at? Maggie said Next Generation. I said Enterprise. Somebody, and Steve Smart goes, well, you can't even go to Voyager. That was awful. And I said, you know what Voyager was? You remember? Blacks and homos in outer space.
Yep. So, anyway, it was a great show. I have to always mention it when I come on. But you brought up the subject I wanted to talk about at the top of the hour. You brought the weather. Suzanne and I have done a number of shows on these cold weather events, and it's getting into the deep south. And so my first prep is everyone down there in the south that hasn't run your generator in months, make sure your generator is running now.
Dude, you read my mind. My checklist as soon as we get off the air is to roll out in the garage and crank that joker up.
Yeah, if you wait till tonight when the power goes out, you are out of luck.
Nope, it's getting started today, and if I got to go get some starter fluid or some stable or whatever, then I will. It started fine. I got to tell you, though, it's been a year. So, but hopefully, and it's got a battery charger, a battery storage. It's one of the nicer ones. Hopefully, it'll crank.
Yeah. And the second part to that is make sure you have enough fuel for your generator, so that it'll run for several hours because you have no idea how long the power is going to be out.
Got it.
So those are my two preps on that. My next prep is on vehicles. Make sure everyone should have a get-home bag in their car.
Okay.
Because if you broke down, you want to have food and drink and change of clothes and different things. We don't have to go over all that, but make sure you have adjusted it now for cold weather. Make sure you have gloves, thick socks, everything that you might need if your car breaks down in this cold weather. So just think about what's coming.
Boots. Oh, hang on. That's
absolutely boots.
False alarm.
100%.
So also on our checklist, because we have a wood-burning fireplace, which does nicely heat up most of the living area. Not all of it, but it keeps it from getting really cold if the power goes out. We have a nice supply of wood, but I'm going to go out and get some more today if I can find it, because people have been hoarding it around here. So, but I bought a cord, or a half a cord. We got a whole cord a month ago, and we've done 2 fires, so we haven't burned a lot. So I think we have enough. And then the other thing is that you guys, I'm sure you covered this. We're going to gas the cars up, full tanks.
Right.
Make sure that we've got plenty of bottled water everywhere.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a little one of my little hacks about keeping your vehicles full. I am a little bit anal about it. At 3/4 of the tank, I go to a gas station. I always keep it full. Number one, I'm running diesel, so I don't want water and all the other crap. So I keep it full for that reason. But if you are always keeping it full, you're never going to be in a situation where you're out of it. Don't get down to 1/8 of a tank before you go looking for a gas station. You know, that's just asking for a disaster. So at any rate, Mike, that was all I had. I just wanted to talk a little prepping today because of this bad weather coming. Thank you again for the show. I love you guys, and have a great day.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Jeff Johnson. Love you too, pal. He's right about all that. And, you know, I don't know how many hoodats here in the New Orleans area are pretty privy to that kind of stuff. You know, a lot of stuff has already been cleared out. You know, good for us. So we still have the ability to bake. So if we need bread and we have lots of flour, like we can survive an ice Mageddon. So we're going to take a time out. Final segment of the day. It's on its way next year on the Mike Church Show here. No, don't go away.
Friday, January 23rd, 2026. This report is brought to you by the all-new Crusade Channel 2.0 app. The best way to listen to the KingDude ever, and installation is so easy. Open up a browser on your device, go to crusadechannel.com/app. Tap the download button, then open the app. It is literally that easy. In the market report, the Dow closed up 0.56% and the S&P was up 0.47%. NASDAQ was also up 0.80%. In National Day calendar news, today is National Handwriting Day, celebrating pen and paper. While technology speeds up the writing process and makes communication more efficient worldwide, there's something to be said for writing thoughts longhand. Whether it's a journal, notes, or even a letter to someone, the act of writing with pen and paper is supremely tactile and it requires patience. It also helps you feel more connected with the person writing it. It's also National Security Technician Day and it's National Pie Day. Apple still takes the lead as the favorite at 37% overall. Our quote of the day, "He who trusts in himself is lost. He who trusts in God can do all things." St. Alphonsus Liguori. You can learn more about today's Saint of the Day and the Saint of the Day podcast at crusadechannel.com. You're listening to Crusade Channel News.
Hi, folks. It's Mike Church, founder of Founding Father Films, asking you to learn the true stories of America's founding by purchasing my movie, The Spirit of 76. The Spirit of 76 details the true story of the writing and ratifying of the U.S. Constitution.
And here I would make this inquiry of those worthy characters who composed a part of the late Federal Convention. Sir, give me leave to demand, what right have they to say, "We the people"? Who authorized them?
This animated movie comes complete with collector's booklets, DTS surround sound, and is packed with hours of bonus features. Learn the true stories of America's founding and order Mike Church's The Spirit of 76 on a 2-DVD or 3-CD set. Available now at mikechurch.com/DVD and by calling 844-527-8723.
Hey, Lee. You know, we've known each other for a bit now. I just wonder, what do you really love to do?
I love posting civilization-saving threads on X.com, but I get so tired of outrage porn scrolling my medulla has gone oblong blanca.
Well, I know just the thing. Pour an iced cappuccino holy roast coffee, put your earbuds in, and catch 2 hours of suspense, the greatest of all mystery, horror, and whodunit classic radio serials.
Perfect. While you were talking, I completely forgot who Jack Posobiec was.
Catch all 900 plus episodes of Suspense every weekday from noon to 2 p.m. East on the Crusade Channel, our app, and always on CrusadeChannel.com. Live talk and classic radio
The way it should be.
Staying alive in too much heaven here on a free phone Friday. Mike Church Show here, and glad to have you with us out there, wherever out there may be. Well, thanks to Jeff Johnson for calling in with a little prepper stuff. Tracy Staller also says, let me remind folks, what's it called, Maggie? Mechanics? I can't hear you.
It is called Mechanic in a Bottle.
Also, in any inclement weather kind of situation, especially in cold, Tracy Staller says you may want to keep a bottle of Mechanic's Helper handy, which apparently will solve any or most fuel line or fuel-related issues, right? Isn't that what he's saying? So, when the show is over here today, I have a list of preparatory things. Look, I'm not even in the crisis band. I mean, we're gonna get cold. All right, let's check. Let's see if it's changed.
It's gonna get freezing.
You're like Andrew Groose, though, Maggie.
After today, when I pick up my groceries, I am not leaving the house until Mother Nature decides to be normal.
Sunday Mass?
Well, I have to do that, yes, but
okay.
Under protest with the weather.
You might be able to say that, well, it's inclement weather, and my husband's a seasoned citizen, so, I don't want to risk carting the old man across the ice.
But if there's ice, I'm not going across that causeway.
No.
I will go local.
So it looks like our low temp right now is 23 on Tuesday. This is child's play for people in Michigan and Ohio and the northern climes. And your Snowmageddon event has been erased. So they had Friday, they had it scheduled, and Saturday for snow. It's just now a cloud. Now, if I got to freeze to death, well, then I don't mind snow. So that is the current situation here in Southeast Louisiana. And maybe we should all start a novena, a quick novena. We can't do a novena because we only have 3 days to get ready. And let us all start a trivena today to Our Lady Notre Dame Maristella, Our Lady Star of the Sea, who has been appealed to by sailors and many others for safety and protection on inclement weather over the millennia of Christianity. So, Preta Ave Maria Stella. And again, Our Lady Star of the Sea. Before we get out of here today, and obviously we're on a shortened schedule because there's lots of stuff to do. This piece by Dreher, I think that this is just symbolic of people that aren't really conservative. I think that there really is a dividing line, folks. There are people that have tradition, and I don't mean tradition like in Fiddler on the Roof, tradition in their mind when they think conservatism. You know, I think that number was growing. You know, before I get to Dreher, okay, but first, what does he say about Publius? So you got to scroll down on the piece, U.S. public gaze, not so fabulous. I've been mystified by the number of people, he says, not just in this newsletter's comments section, but in real life, who refuse my exhortations to watch the Apple TV series Pluribus. I said Publius, it's Pluribus. Now, he wrote a rave review the other day, and I started reading and I went, nope, not interested, Rod. Thank you very much. You're wrong. As a matter of fact, I need to start taking back to Substack and start writing my opinions on this stuff. But this piece right here, this video right here is going to serve as my response to Rod Dreher and others like him. You're wrong. You know, this idea here, this is what the good Catholics like Brother Andre Marie and our beloved sisters and brothers at the St. Benedict Center would call the sin of indifferentism. Oh, it's okay. They're not harming anyone. I know indifferentism is indifferentism of religion. Nobody needs to send me a reminder, a piece of hate mail. I'm just using indifferentism in this particular interest that people are like indifferent about. Well, no, they're just gay. Well, no, they're not gay. I told my children, well, that's not good. They shouldn't be. Well, Dad, no, God's law is eternal. I'm not going to argue with you about it, child. I'm just telling you it's morally abhorrent, and heaven forfend you should ever practice it. So don't. And pray for your friends that are in that situation that they stop. And of course, they look at me like, oh, yeah, so, yeah, Dad, he's just, he's this and that and the other. He doesn't get it. Okay, fine. Dude, I planted the seed. I could even tell you that one of my daughter's friends that had a role in her wedding is one such afflicted with a sexual dysphoria. And, I told him, and I'm not going to mention his name, but I told him, like, bro, I've known you since you were like 9, bro. I love you, dude. He goes, I love you too, Mr. Mike. I said, but, and he goes, you don't have to say it. I know. And I said, but, I didn't say anything. He goes, no, thank you so much. He goes, I was really nervous. And I said, bro, I would never embarrass you or condemn you in public. Now, of course, I'm going to get condemned by some of you listening right now. That's what we need to do. We need to condemn and shame them. I'm not going to shame the young man at my daughter's wedding. If you want to and you do it at my daughter's wedding, I'm going to kick your ass. So just know, time and a place for everything, not the place. But I really do think that we talk a really good game when it comes to loving and showing love to our family members and close friends that are in this sexual dysphoria. And telling it, look, man, I oppose it because I love you. I'll never stop loving you. And I think that this is, I think that young people, and I'm going to keep telling my daughters this, young people can get this. So don't give up on them. So Dreher's droning on about this, and he just doesn't understand. And so he says, all these people that are refusing my exhortation to watch the show just because the lead character is a lesbian. The reason is simple. They believe that this is bound to be yet another woke sermon from Hollywood. I tell them that no, the lesbianism of Carol Sturka is only incidental to the plot, and that if anything, the series is anti-woke, but they don't care. They've had it with Hollywood and homos all the damn time. I was thinking about it like this last night. You have to twist my arm to make me watch a self-consciously Christian movie because of lots of bad experiences with preachiness. And then he goes on to talk about this. Let me tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, let this serve as this week's movie review. Wait a minute. What's the movie we watched the other day that we actually liked? It wasn't terrible. It was the other Stephen King movie send-up that wasn't. We watched it with Reagan. Okay, the new Running Man. I'm going to get the Mike Church show. We'll do that next. It's coming up. I'll do it. The issue is this, and it's not the preachy sermon movies. I get all that, and look, I have no taste for it. I don't like it. You know, I start to watch some of these movies, and just to be quite frankly with me, they're just too Protestant revival tent, feel good prosperity gospel preachy and stuff. I rather like The Reluctant Saint. Well, the Song of Bernadette, where the bishop yells at there have been other good ones. It's not, Rod, she's not incidental to the story. She is the story. Now, let me tell you, I watched the first 2 episodes. I went, that's it. I have enough to review it. I'm out, not watching it anymore. Her lesbianism has made her dystopia. She has a dysphoria, okay? And the way she reacts to things, I'm sitting there going like, why would you? I wouldn't react to that way. And by the way, there's no mention, because, it comes up. Well, how are we going to repopulate the earth? And she looks at the guy, and the guy goes, oh, okay, like, in other words, like, I'm a dyke. That's not going to happen. So ostensibly, one of the last women left on earth, who's still kind of of childbearing age, is refusing an intimation that she may be called upon to be Eve and restore the human race by having babies. I'm not making this up. During the first 2 episodes, she has flashbacks to her time with her lesbian lover. There are times when they're macking down on one another, and it's too much. You did not, Apple, you did not have to put a bull dagger, flannel shirt wearing, butch haircut, butch lesbian in the lead role at the end of the pandemic Earth. You certainly didn't have to put her in the role where she ostensibly is one of the women that's going to have to save humanity. And the last time I watched the show, and I'm not watching anymore, she was refusing. This is sci-fi, dystopian fare that is bitten written by women for angry, ugly women. It is not written in the classical sense that good literature is written. Oh, but there's this and there's a plot. There are weirdos. The only people that survive are wackos. The one guy that supposedly survives is a nympho. He's sexually deviant compulsive. Everyone in the show that you meet is a sexual wacko. So don't watch it. Apple, you can do better. I watched 2 seasons of Silo, and yeah, there was an intimation that one of the characters was one of them, but it didn't carry the show. There were no love scenes. There was no one macking down on one another. You can do it. You can take some literary fare and turn it into a good series. You just choose not to, because you know what? You choose to push the envelope and see how much you can get away with. Well, my Apple TV doesn't go back to pluribus, and it's not going to. And they spam me with the number, look at this, this is in the top 5 of the Apple shows. I don't care if it's number 1 for a year. I'm not watching it. And Rod Dreher, yes, we have reached peak homos in outer space. We're done. Can you have a homosexual character who's genuinely struggling with their dysphoria and struggling to okay, I'm just not going to act upon it. I'm going to be Milo Yiannopoulos. I'm going to try to be celibate. Yeah, you could have that character. You don't have to have it in every series. They can't help themselves, folks. There's no series on any network. I'm telling you right now. There's no series on any network. I don't care what it is. Peacock, CBS, doesn't matter. Paramount, Amazon Studios, it doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, what a great story Wheel of Time is. But they had to put the dykes in it. I don't know if the guy that wrote the book put the dykes in it to begin with. I don't know because I didn't read the books. But they sure as hell are in it in the TV series. And it's a pretty good sci-fi, futuristic, or throwback, whatever you wish to call it, fantasy-based show. Didn't have to have the homosexuality element. They do it because they can, because the same pervert, the same Harvey Weinstein-esque perverts who were previously pushing all of the other sex stuff are still there. The kitty sex diddling rings, oh yeah. They want you to think that they all got busted and that, oh, we've moved on. We're not Epstein anymore. Oh, dude, come on. We know that Marina Abramovic is still doing the spirit cooking parties. Liz Crokin hasn't gone away. We know that you haven't repented and you haven't gone in and enlisted or tried to go to monasteries or whatever to go get your life straight and get straight with God and try to go on the path of celibacy and straight and narrow. We know this. So they really haven't. There was, we thought that there was a slight pivot that they were going to. So it's time to just turn more of this crap off. When you see it on, just turn it off. And believe me, they count streams. Which is why, not only they count streams, but they're also counting revenue and losses. Which is why they're now bombarding anyone that watches any of these shows. Apple's the only one that's not doing it yet. Wait a minute, I pay for an Apple Plus subscription. Or I pay for Paramount Plus or Peacock Plus or Amazon Prime. Why am I getting spammed 8, 11, 12 minutes per hour with commercials on top of the stream? Oh, well, you need to upgrade to go commercial free. I don't want to upgrade. I already did. I bought a subscription. I know people disagree with me on this. We haven't reached peak homo. We haven't reached peak millennial yet. Everyone's going more digital. I'm not betting my future and my life on that because I don't believe it. Our experience here today with our technical difficulties is just one of those instances. You know, a network going down and thousands of people being stranded at airports because some kids in a basement hacked into somebody at an airport or whatever. It's just another part of this. You know, is there a role for this digital stuff in our life? I think there is. I think that modern man has just got to figure out another way to do it, and the way we're doing it is not the answer. Elon is not the leader. We're not going all robotic. And so that's what I think of that. You want to watch Pluribus? You're going to get the lesbian. And yes, she is a lesbian through and through in the entirety of the series. They know it. And Rod Dreher, shame on you for not knowing it and pointing it out. And yeah, your friends aren't weirdos. Your friends are actually trying to be good Christians. So there's that. All right, now, we'll do a movie review as a final segment of the program here today. So let me tell you about the new Running Man movie. What's the guy's name? The big muscle dude that's the lead character, the actor. I don't remember the original Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Glenn Powell. You can tell he wants to be America's action star. You can tell he's been working out, and he's buff and tough and ready for the role. So again, let me give you the KingDude long and short of the new Running Man. Okay. It's another one of these examples where I don't know where the wheel came off, but why is the F-bomb a comma now? It's not necessary. Let me tell you, they made a pretty good plot. They made a pretty good movie. It's pretty good. There are some plot twists and turns. Glenn Powell is really good as the Running Man. And they had, of course, they had to put some other modern things in there. You know, they put the interracial marriage in there. That's a part of the whole story. Look, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. But I know what they're doing. Okay, you could see that they planted these seeds. But you don't have to make a modern day film like this, and you don't have to pepper it with the F word as a comma. And unfortunately, that's why I can't give the new Running Man for a 3.5 or 3.5 Reagan review. And I would, because it's got great action. He's very believable as a running man. The bad guys are really bad guys. Josh Brolin is a pretty good bad guy. Well, he's a pretty good bad guy whenever he plays a bad guy. The black guy who plays the Richard Dawson role is really good. As a matter of fact, I kept going, hey, man, he does a pretty good Richard Dawson from the original. The other people that play their parts are okay. They're good. They play their roles. Special effects are good. You believe that it's in this time and place. The story is pretty well written. Not sure how close to Stephen King's original because I never read it. It is. The acting is good. The directing is good. The special effects, like I said, are really good. It's just very difficult to get beyond because you couldn't take a teenage son to go say, hey, man, let's go watch. This is not, I don't know what happened to Hollywood. What is wrong with you? Maybe there's a reason why this had to go to video or it was in the theater for a short time because it's not a popcorn movie for a family. You could take your kids probably back in the day to go to see Top Gun, the original. As a matter of fact, there were 2 slights in the remake. Give Tom Cruise credit. He made all those Mission Impossible movies with very little bad language, very little sexual circumstances and what have you here. Comparatively speaking, Tom Cruise movies, the Mission Impossible movies, very well done. And I watch them all. I love them all. They're all good. And again, he pretty much did it without the F word as a comma. There are guys that say it in there, especially in the last 2 episodes. But this is a trend that must come to a stop. And the only way they're going to bring it to a stop is by people not watching these films and telling you wackos and you weirdos, you Tourette syndrome losers in Hollywood, stop with the F word. Stop it. And by the way, I can tell you, it kind of rubs off on you. And I don't care how hard you try, because you hear it if you watch enough of this stuff, which is why you've got to turn it off. So my review is I'm going to give it 1 Marks, no Reagans, for the language. Everything else, if you can get through the language and you're an adult and I'm a big enough boy to watch F-bombs in movies, KKD, well, then I'll give it 3.5 Reagans for you. For anyone else, keep your children away from it. This is not for teenagers. Truth be known, I don't know that adults should be consuming this much foul language. And I think the problem is, and the women are are the worst now, I think that's the problem. It's not foul language anymore. Now it's just a comma. It's a comma. You could yell instead of going, oh, for comma's sake. What the comma is going on here? Right? So WTC, what the comma? It's so bad. I mean, literally, it is a comma. It's probably so bad that spell check and AI just fills the F in as soon as the screenwriter types in F. It just fills it in for him. And he goes, no, I actually meant to say for him this time. So they can and they must do better, and they haven't. And so 1 Marks on the new Running Man, and I'd love to give it a good review because I like Glenn Powell. And again, they put a lot of time and money and effort into this, but it's all for naught when every other frame you have to. Even the old lady in the movie is an F-bomb dropper. You know, the guy who's playing kind of like the anti-hero hero who gets the running man. He's trying to get him out of the situation he's in. Well, you know, you meet his mother and come to find out that even the mother, the senior citizen mother, is a F word for a comma dropper. And it just throws a wet blanket on the whole thing. You don't need it. It would have been a great movie with replacing the F word with a comma, as I just did, or some other non-expletive but indication of anger. So you can skip the Running Man, and I give it a 1 out of 4 marks. I'm not going to give it 4 marks, but I'm going to give it the 1 marks. And I think that wraps up the program for the week here, folks. What a great week we have had. We had a scheduling conflict, and so next Friday we'll have Tim Cermak from Sugar Bush Maple Syrup Farms and the Catholic Land Movement. Remember, your podcasts are always available at crusadechannel.com, and you can shop with us in the Founders Trading Post store at shop.mikechurch.com all weekend long. And there's my sounder saying that the post-show show is about to begin, but we got some emergency preparedness to take care of, and as I'm sure many of you do. So, I bid you adieu and say to you, have a safe and blessed remainder of the weekend. God bless you and Mary keep you.